Hello, I'm Shannon from Adventures in Board Gaming. Welcome back to our playthrough of Too Many Bones Undertow. We are jumping right in with day 5, so we'll spin our day counter forward and take our next encounter. Today's encounter is called Uh-Oh and simply says, "Aw, crap." Flipping it over, we can see that we have two options, both of which will result in a water battle. Our first choice is, "I've been shot at." The goblin responsible is already out of range for retaliation, but this is not over. Pull the arrow from your helmet and you prepare for battle. The BQ will be baddie points. On day 5 with 2 gearlocks, that's 10 points of baddies. And range baddies have surprise. Or, "I've been shot at." The dragon responsible is already out of range for retaliation, but this is not over. Wiping the dung from your helmet, you prepare for battle. Again, BQ baddie points, but with this, melee baddies have surprise. If we're successful in this battle, we're going to get 1 progress point, which is the 5th point we need to face Barnacle. We'll also get 2 training points and a loot each. Interesting choice. We have not scouted ahead, so we don't know what kinds of baddies are awaiting us, but I think that we will be better off giving melee baddies surprise than the ranged baddies, so we are going to go with option number 2. Let's set up our BQ. We have 10 baddie points, so that's simply going to be 2 5s going onto our BQ. Before the battle, we need to roll Stanza's Lutar die, and we'll be starting this battle with 4 focus, and I will put that in her prep area. The first baddie we will be facing today is a Dragon Juvenile. It has 5 hit points, an initiative of 4, and it rolls 3 attack dice and 2 defense. It hits at range, the strongest gearlock on the mat, and its 2 abilities are Bleed and Careless 1. Bleed means that when it attacks you, it'll put the bleed effect die on you, and then you will take 1 true damage for each turn you start with this effect die on you. Its second is Careless 1, and you'll note it doesn't have a bone on that, so it's just going to do 1 damage to itself each round it's out on the board. Going into lane 1, and taking our 5 hit points, the Dragon Juvenile will go down at the bottom here with its 4 initiative. And the second baddie we're fighting today is a Dragon Grounder. So this has 7 hit points, an initiative of 5, again rolling 3 attack and 2 defense. This is a melee baddie, so it will have surprise against us. On ties going for the weakest gearlock, and it has weaken 2. After it hits you, it'll put this weakened status on you, and the next turn you will have 2 less dexterity to work with. So, going into lane 2 with 7 HP, and since it's melee, it will be going here. An initiative of 5. And it's time to roll the initiative for our heroes. Because we finished yesterday with Duster under her maximum health points, Nightshade is going to join this battle at the beginning, so we'll roll initiative for Nightshade with the gearlocks. Okay, so Duster with a 3, Stanza with a 4, and Nightshade with a 6. Let's take this back over to our initiative meter. Slotting in our heroes, we have Nightshade first, Stanza going in the middle, and Duster at the end. However, our encounter told us that melee baddies have surprise, and the Dragon Grounder, represented by the purple die, is melee, so it gets to go before us, and we'll adjust it like that. It's time to place our heroes on the mat. The first unit I am going to place is Nightshade. Nightshade is going to go in this spot on the mat. I want to put Nightshade close enough that it will be able to get to the dragon grounder on its turn, but not so close that it's going to be the dragon's target, because rolling 3 attack dice is likely going to take Nightshade out. We are going to put Duster beside the dragon grounder, hoping that she can withstand this attack. And hopefully between Nightshade and Duster, they will be able to make quick work of this dragon. Lastly, we will place Stanza over here fighting the dragon juvenile. And we are ready to begin our battle. So very first to go is this dragon grounder that has surprise on us. So it will have weaken 2. Duster's going to be its target, so we'll put that there as a reminder that Duster has 2 less dexterity on her turn. And then rolling the 3 attack and 2 defense against Duster. And the dragon has rolled 4 hits, but no defense. And 4 hits on Duster takes her right down to 1 HP. Next up, we have Nightshade. Nightshade is going to move in on this dragon and roll 2 attack dice. And Nightshade has rolled 2 hits. The dragon has no defense, so it will take the 2 hits off of its character, down to 5 left. And moving straight into Stanza's turn, let's look at her board and see if there are any songs we can play. Okay, Stanza has a couple songs that are going to help Duster out at the moment. We have Only Time Will Tell. The first side of that is going to heal the entire party by 1 HP. Duster's the only Gearlock that will benefit from that, but it is still definitely worth it. The other song that is going to be very helpful for Duster is this Siege of Charon. By putting that out, all effect dice on our party are going to be removed and blocked from being placed until the start of Stanza's next turn. That means the weaken 2 is going to come off of Duster. And Stanza is going to play a third song, our Under the Old Zelfie, which is going to give her 1 buff HP. Now playing 3 songs, costs her 3 dexterity. With her 2 dexterity she has left, we are going to go straight for attack dice. Remembering to resolve our song effects, Duster is going to get rid of this weaken 2 and gain back an HP. And then Stanza is going to target the dragon juvenile with her 2 attack dice. And Stanza has rolled a bone and a cocked die. Rerolling that, it is 1 hit. So this dragon juvenile is taking 1 point of damage. And Stanza has 1 bone. We are going to use her 1 bone backup plan right away in order to turn up our Lutar die up to 5 focus. That ends Stanza's turn, and it is now our dragon juvenile's turn. At range, it is targeting the strongest opposing unit, and that does happen to be Stanza. It would put a bleed effect on Stanza, but she's playing that song that prevents effect dice from being applied. Careless 1 is going to affect itself, so it will take 1 HP of damage, and then roll 3 attacks and 2 defense against Stanza. And the dragon has rolled 2 hits and 1 defense. Stanza can use her 1 buff HP for the first hit, but the second hit is going to come off of her HP stack, and then the dragon is putting up 1 defense. And it is now Duster's turn. Let's go to Duster's mat. Now, Duster wants to make quick work of this Dragon Grounder, so she is going to roll her 2 attack, also her 2 defense, and her dagger, hoping that we will be able to do a good amount of damage to this dragon. Okay, Duster has done 4 damage, plus the ability to add a weaken to the dragon, and then 2 defense. Not a bad roll. Okay, 4 hits is not quite enough to kill our dragon, but it's down to 1 hit point left. And then we will also be putting a bleed effect on it. And with only 1 hit point left, that means that the dragon will KO at the start of its next turn. Duster is also, of course, going to slot in her defense dice. And that is the end of the first round. Rolling forward to the second, it is our Dragon Grounder that gets the first turn. However, this bleed means that it will lose its last hit point and be KO'd. We'll just remove that die from our initiative track. Next up, we have Nightshade. Now, Nightshade is not adjacent to any baddies and can't get adjacent to any baddies, but we will still move it 2 spaces to get closer to the battle. Stanza going next. Let's see what we can do with her. Stanza would really like to hit hard with this attack and also make sure that she gets some defense up if she doesn't. So we are actually going to vamp all 3 of our songs, so we're not using any dexterity there. And then we're going to roll our 2 attack, our 2 defense, and our axe blade. And Stanza has rolled 3 hits, plus a 1 poison, and 3 defense. Also a great roll. The 3 hits take down the defense and 2 HP, leaving it with 1. And this 1 poison is going to take care of this baddie at the start of its turn. We are not going to bother slotting Stanza's defense because this battle is about to end. Moving directly on to the Dragon Juvenile's turn, this 1 poison means it takes 1 damage, and that is enough to defeat it. And we have been successful on round 2 of this battle. Our Gearlocks made quick work of that battle. I guess the dragon dung wasn't as debilitating as we thought it might be. Now, because we were successful, we have gained this progress point. This puts us at 5 progress, and we are now able to fight Barnacle if we would like to. It gives us 2 training points and a loot as well. Let's look at loot first. This is what Duster has acquired. It's a jungle spear. At any time on her turn, she rolls 2 attack dice and deals the combined damage to any non-adjacent unit. This does not cost dex. Fantastic. Stanza is gaining Cibron Kelp. You can fully heal yourself if currently at 1 HP, otherwise heal for 2 HP. Now, Stanza has 4 loot already, so we're going to have to look at her full complement of loot and discard down to 4. Now, we have several pieces of loot that may help in a water battle, and I have a feeling that Barnacle's Tyrant battle is going to take place on the raft, so I think we'll keep those items. I believe that what we'll get rid of is the non-essential oils. We haven't really been using it, even though we possibly could have put it to good use, but we'll get rid of that, and we are down to the 4 that we are allowed to have. Now it is time to reset Duster's mat and decide what we would like to take for her 2 training points. Now it's going to be really helpful if we can start the next battle with Nightshade in with us, and for that reason we're going to grab our flint and tinder. we get to roll this during the recovery phase, and it allows us to heal Duster or Nightshade by the number shown. Hopefully we'll be able to roll this and heal Duster just enough that we won't need to rest and recover to full. Now with the second training point, I think we're going to go with some more attack power. I think we're really going to want to hit hard in this last battle. So I will grab the Vibroblade. It will do the number on it to its target, but then if that target is a crown or a mech type, it'll do an extra damage. And on Stanza, we will need to clean up our mat here as well, putting all of our dice back in their spots. And then deciding what we would like to spend our 2 training points on. The Breaking of Daylor song is a song that I have had my eye on, so we are going to train that. It goes in this spot, and it actually has sides that are going to do damage to our targets, so that could potentially be useful. For our second training point, we are going to grab the Charged Swing. This is going to do damage to our target, and then the blue die we get to apply to any unit adjacent to our target, so hopefully hitting 2 baddies with 1 swing with that one. Okay, now we are in the recovery phase, and a couple things we can do here. We have no locks to pick, but we can trade loot between the 2 gear locks, and I do think that Stanza wants to give this Cibron Kelp, which has healing abilities, over to Duster. Duster does tend to get lower in HP than Stanza does, and Duster is just going to toss out the hunting net instead of trading that back because this loot has no effect in the final battle. And now that we have done that, our last thing of the day is individual options. Stanza, even though she's only down 1 HP, is going to rest and recover. We want to be at full health going into that final battle. Now, Duster is going to roll that Flint and Tinder die that we acquired and see if we can get a few more HP before we decide if we're going to rest and recover or not. And she has rolled a 2, so we're going to get to put 2 HP on Duster. 2 more HP puts us at 4 out of 6, and I do think that is enough that we don't need to rest and recover. So we are going to use our advanced fishing rod loot. This loot is going to let us add the individual option of fishing during our recovery phase. So right now, instead of resting and recovering, trying for new loot, or scouting the area, we will go fishing. We'll roll a d6 and we'll get that amount of HP in our prep area as buff HP. And we are getting 3 buff HP. We'll add Duster's buff HP to her mat, and that does bring day 5 to a close. I hope you join me again tomorrow when we will be taking on Barnacle the Tyrant.